People, welcome to the program. Roscoe here. It's a beautiful Tuesday, July 16th. As I record this, I hope everybody's doing great. And if you're a Snowmobile fan, which I'm sure some of you are, we might be starting to feel the pain a little bit as it's 95 degrees, and it's only going to get worse before it gets better. But thank you for joining me as we talk about other things in action sports and stuff that I give a damn about. So, welcome to the show. And first off, it was a great winter. We finished our Now or Never series. Well, it's finished, but the third episode will drop around Heydays in September. We just kind of ran out of time, and frankly, nobody gives a shit about snowmobiling in April and May, even though there is still good riding to be had. They just don't do the numbers. So we will have our third episode drop in September. And then also we're going to do a longer film style extended director's Roscoe cut version of this project. And I appreciate everybody's support on this. Cam and I lost our minds doing it. This was one of the worst winters that I've ever had as far as timing, scheduling, and just lack of good snow. We didn't have snow anywhere. We started the season with the goal of going to BC in early December. It didn't snow. We kept pushing it back. Ultimately, we had to change the plan. We filmed at home. Rained for like 3 days on us. Filmed in the rain. Went to Wyoming. Got some good snow. Had to get on a plane to go to Canada to see the new reveal of the 2025 links. So I lost some time there. And then episode 3, snow was bad. We were going to go to BC, Whistler, all these places. Just the timing was not lining up with us. Even though the winter itself, we did end up getting a decent amount of snow here in the West, but the timing was just horrific. So Cam and I, shout out to him, we lost our damn minds doing this project. But we had a ton of fun doing it, and we will see where it goes, see what's next. I'm not really sure. Paying for projects like this are hard. You have to really kind of do them out of passion. And obviously I want to be able to pay filmers and editors and stuff like that to do it. So we will see where it goes, and we'll see what's going on. But the goal here is I want to be able to create stuff from my house for you guys and build back the community and build the audience that way as well. So Snowmobile season ended, and since then we've been on the motorcycle quite a bit. We've been having a great spring on the bike. Absolutely addicted to hard enduro. And if you're a Snowmobile fan, and if you're a technical Snowmobile rider, hard enduro moto is the closest thing that we have that crosses over. It feels the same. You're picking lines. You're trying to navigate obstacles, logs, rocks, all of that stuff that we face in the backcountry is the exact same on moto. So our Super Bowl for our little crew of misfit moto riders is Silver Kings Hard Enduro. 509 has a video out on that, and that is basically a 3-day. It's a 3-day event at this point. Day 1 is qualifying for us. We only ride for about 14 minutes. Me and my crew, Jay Menaberry, David McKinney, Ty, Tristan, kind of 509 crew, we all race A and go get our asses kicked. And then, of course, Keith and Sam and Mason, some other sledders, they show up and they race pro, and Keith finishes like 5th because he's an absolute dog out there. So an absolutely insane race, and it was dominated by this dude right here, Tristan Hart, which, no surprise, kid finished 2nd at Erzberg, only to Manny Lettenbleckler, and he is got to be behind Manny, he is the top rider in the world right now. He won this race by 30 minutes. It was so grueling the second day. I'll break down the race for you. So day 1 is the 15-minute qualifier. I finished in 14 minutes and 20 or 40 seconds. And I was really stoked on that, except for the fact that the first section is the enduro cross section. So there's logs and tires and all sorts of stuff that you have to go through, and it drops 5 wide. So 5 racers start every 30 seconds. There was 278 racers in A class. So almost 300 racers in A class, which is a lot of guys to work through and work around, especially as the days go on. But that 15-minute moto in the beginning sets your starting position for day 2 and day 3, which are the bigger, longer, hard enduros. So I had a good start. I was off the front of my 5, and there was one log that Cam said, he's like, I know you think that's a good line. That mud hole is super deep. He was filming for us. So I completely forgot that he had told me that, and I went right into it, endoed the bike, lost my transceiver off the bike. Didn't know it, raced my heart out, 14 minutes, 40 seconds, felt really, really good, was so stoked. And the cool thing about the transceivers is they give live timing, so as soon as you finish, you know your time. We're looking, my time's not updating. Tristan is like, where's your transceiver, dude? It's gone. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Every year at this race, something bad happens to me this way. So I ended up losing my transceiver. 2 zip ties broke and lost my transceiver. Luckily enough, the timing guy was nice enough to review my GoPro footage, and I had recorded the entire prologue itself. He took that time and placed me for day 2, which was really, really nice. Fast forward to day 2, we have a 3-hour race, 3-hour hard enduro that is it was fast this year. The first day was fast. This is the first year that it was a full 3-day event. It's typically 2 days. So that day 2 was 3-hour time limit, 3 laps in 3 hours. And the goal is always to finish the 3 laps. So I had a good start. I was moving pretty good, and I felt really, really good. That first day only lost a few positions, putting me in about 60th overall in A to then go battle for the day 3. And what's crazy about that is I was one of the few that actually finished 2 laps. Didn't even get my 3rd lap done. I finished 2 laps in 2 hours and about 50 minutes, and I had 10 minutes left, put the hammer down, tried to get some checkpoints ticked off to maybe gain a position or 2, but couldn't get it done. Now day 3, the big day, which we didn't know what day was going to be harder. Should have assumed that the last day was going to be harder, because the first day wasn't that technical. That's where I'm a much faster enduro rider than I am a technical one. I need to work on that badly. I need some pros to show me some shit, because I suck in the hard stuff. Day 3 was much harder. Massive bottleneck 15 minutes into the race at the very first big hill climb. Looking back in hindsight, I should have went up the main line. We all decided to go through the scree field, and before I know it, I'm trying to push through this checkpoint with all these other racers, and I look back, and it's David McKinney's dumbass is there, Jay's dumbass is there, Ty's there, Drew's there, all of these guys that I qualified ahead of the day before, and they were all there with me, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure there my mental was shot. I think I let the race get to me right then and there. I was already pissed, and took off, rode a little bit, rode good for a little bit while longer, and ended up getting through there with Jay. Somehow Jay got through there pretty quick, and ended up getting through there, and then broke my swing arm guard clean off the bike, crosslink swing arm guard, which is like a really, really beefy guard to protect your swing arms that us dog shit riders race. In this clip here, you can see Tristan does not have any guards on his swing arms because his bike looks new after 4 hours of racing, because he's just that nice with it. So I break my swing arm guard off. It's still attached by the bolt, so I have to cut the swing arm guard off, and pretty soon the fueling becomes an issue in my body, not my bike. My bike had plenty of fuel. My fueling in my body, I didn't train enough with what I was going to eat while racing. For these endurance races, you need to be taking calories, water, all of that stuff in at a regular pace, because the race is 3 to 4 hours long. So about an hour in, I am so nauseous that I cannot even ride my motorcycle. Stomach hurts so bad. I feel like I'm going to puke, but can't really focus. It's just totally hindering. Jay catches me. I let him by. I try to hold on to Jay, and about 10 minutes later, Jay's gone. And from there, the wheels just continued to fall off the bus. I had, like, my quad hurt super bad. I thought I hit it on something. I thought it was just a bruise. Turns out it never bruised, and I like pulled part of my quad or jacked up my quad. Couldn't walk for like a week after the thing. I ended up pulling off the race and not having a very good run. I'm not happy with my finish. I wish I would have just kept pushing through, but trying to remember how bad I actually felt, I was just going to wreck myself and my bike even more than I did. So the shitty part about the whole deal is that we have to wait a whole year for it. So we have another year to prep and hopefully get a little bit better. The tricky part is hard enduro is getting bigger and bigger here in the U.S. and the riders are getting better and better. So somehow we have to outpace those guys and spend a lot more time on the bike than I have been in the past years, because for me it's just really been an off-season thing, and usually after this race I don't really ride my bike. I get on my mountain bike and ride that more. So we're going to be better next year. But shout out to Tristan. The dude is so incredibly fun to watch. And even with the guidance of our own 509 pro, Spencer Wilton, none of us 509 guys could finish the damn race. Only 3 guys in A finished, and I believe only 3 pros actually finished after they added an additional hour to the race, making day 3 a 5-hour race. And I heard there were some people who were not stoked on it. They were straight up pissed off, pros, because in that 5-hour race, if you're gonna know you're racing for 4 hours, you're gonna bring water for 4 hours. You're gonna bring fuel for 4 hours. So you have all of your goos, your gels, whatever kind of bars and stuff you have. You're planning on 4 hours. So midway through the race, when they realize that nobody is finishing this fucking thing, that they're going to add another hour, people are like, "What the hell? We got to go for another hour after we've been getting our ass kicked all day long." So. There weren't some people stoked on that, but shout out to our boy Spenny. He's giving us some guidance out there. He weighs about 112 pounds, rides a dirt bike like an absolute animal. One of those guys who's so naturally talented that it makes you want to punch yourself, because he's so good. And he was gonna race the Stark in the straight enduro. So the pros race the straight enduro, which is like a straight rhythm, but over Jersey barriers and stuff like that. He was going to race his electric bike, but ended up not doing it because I don't think they would let him race a different bike in that, which would have been really cool to see. So as you can see, he's just flipping over his, it's about a $13,000 Stark. Madman. Anyways, that is hard enduro. If you guys, that I suggest that all of you guys start watching, and if you need something to kind of keep yourself entertained, this next week, we're a week away from Red Bull Romaniacs, which is the 5-day race in Romania. Definitely one of the biggest hard enduro and the biggest hard enduro stage race in the world. Very, very interesting. And I just checked the running orders, and it looks like Manny Lettenbleckler is lining up. He had a knee injury, and on the starting list is not Tristan. I don't see him anywhere. I don't know if he's racing, but I would love to see him go battle there. And of course, I am personally, like many hard enduro fans, waiting the return of Billy Bolt. The dude's an absolute dog. He's like a linebacker on a motorcycle. Really, really fun to watch. And he's been the closest to Lettenbleckler in the last few years, but Manny has been pretty damn dominant. He's coming off a minor knee injury. He did have to get surgery, but he's only been off the bike for about a month. So we'll see where he's at when he gets back. And his name is on the list. He is trying to race Romaniacs this next week. So we're going to try to cover that and talk about that. But very, very fun to watch. And like I said, for you Snowmobile fans out there, check out the hard enduro scene, especially in Europe. Those guys are madmen. Straight up. And I'm a good moto rider. Like, I'm good on a bike. I know that. But when it comes to, there's just levels to this shit. Like, you think you're good, and then you go get your absolute ass kicked. And it's crazy when me knowing that I'm a good enduro rider, and then I go to Silver Kings, and it's a battle to finish top 75, top 100 in A class. It's just crazy. And that's such a big race that it draws from all over. But hopefully we'll have more and more opportunities to race hard enduro in the future. And my goal is in my 30s, which is next year, I'm going to be coming on strong in my 30s. All right. I'm not turning it down by any means. But more of you guys probably are a fan of the Pro Motocross series. Outdoors are going on. Our boy Jet out with a thumb injury for the rest of the season. He's really kind of setting the standard. He's not necessarily dominant this year like he was last year, winning every single moto, but this year he definitely was a favorite, points lead, and was the guy to beat. He's out with a thumb injury, and when you're Jet, you have the luxury of hurting it one day, getting on a plane, and having it surgically repaired in Vail, Colorado the next day. So his goal is to be back for the Super Motocross playoffs this fall. So hopefully we'll see him there. But with him down, what we'll look at next is the standings for the 450 class. And Chase Sexton right now 13 points ahead of Hunter Lawrence. And I personally think that it's hard to tell if if Jet was here, would he be running like he is? Because the last 2 weeks without Jet there, Chase has been pretty dominant. He's been really fast. But before that, he wasn't really on pace with Jet as much. He didn't have that speed to go chase him down. So it's interesting, and we'll see what happens. Whereas Hunter was kind of running more up front with Jet. Chase had some moments. He went 1-1 one weekend and totally ran away with it. Thunder Valley, his bike wasn't set up right. He was struggling there. So it's hard to tell right now. Is Chase finding form? Is he getting faster? And will he continue to dominate, or will Hunter have anything to answer him with? This past weekend, he didn't have anything to answer him with. He couldn't keep the pace. He had good starts, but ultimately Chase tracked him down. Hunter kind of laid over, and Chase took off and won with a lead. I really see it being a 2-horse race right now. I don't know if any of these other guys can really compete with Chase and Hunter, but we'll see if Chase can run away with it. That's what I'm looking at. I'll be interested to know what you guys think and who your picks are. If anybody else can get in there and mix it up, do you think Hunter can actually battle Chase, or is it now Chase's championship to lose, and will he continue to run with it? The 450s have been pretty good. The 250s, honestly, have been even more exciting to watch, with Hayden Deegan with a 51-point lead over Levi Kitchen and a 54-point lead over Tom Vial. Now, it looks like the Wild West when the 250 boys line it up. Obviously, the young guys pushing hard, and definitely not as dominant out of Hayden as Jet was running. I would say he hasn't been as consistent. He's been battled by multiple guys and had some mishaps, some tip overs, stuff like that. But this weekend he had that crash in the first corner as it started to rain and had to kind of claw his way back. But the thing to look at going into next weekend is Levi Kitchen is a Washougal kid. He is from Washougal, Washington, where the next race will happen. So he's obviously spent probably the most time out of any of these guys on that track, and we'll see if that's going to change anything, or will we start to see more separation out of Hayden? Chance Hymas was battling. I believe he's probably 4th or 5th in the points now. He went down in that second moto, did not finish with an ankle injury. So I like the 250 guys. I like watching Deegan ride. I also like listening to his interviews. The kid's talking shit. He needs to get better at his shit talk, but that will develop over time. But he's throwing haymakers not only in the moto, but he's also chirping these guys when the microphone's on him and letting them know that he means business. So, and I feel like Deegan obviously has a massive fan base, and I think he will become, and already is, one of those guys who you either love him or you're not a fan of him. So, me personally, I like watching him race. I think he's a good character to have, and I think we need more characters like that in all of these action sports. Chase Sexton said it last week or a couple weeks ago. I saw a video, and he was like, we've pretty much been trained our whole life to just, say the right thing, do the right thing, which I can relate to massively. And we want some personality out of these guys, right? That's what makes superstars. And the only way that you gain that fan base is either win championships or have a personality that people can latch onto, like Aaron Plessinger. That dude is probably the fan favorite right now, as we see. He's got the cowboy aesthetic. He's a wild one, and the fans obviously love him. So let me know what you guys think on all of that pro motocross, as we'll continue to follow that after this weekend in Washougal. We'll talk more about what's going on and recap the race this upcoming week. All right, let's talk snowmobile news. So this is actually a little bit wild. I've heard a few rumors of online that Arctic Cat potentially looking to be acquired from Textron, who is the parent company of Arctic Cat, and who will is that true? Is anybody going to actually step in and buy these guys, or is it all just rumor mill? But what's crazy is, look at this T-shirt. Ride the New Breed, and this was rumored as well, that John Deere was going to buy Arctic Cat. And for you youngins out there, John Deere made snowmobiles way back in the day. So the photo here of the shirt doesn't allude to anything snowmobiling. It just says Ride the New Breed of Deere. And then below it, you can actually see Ride the New Breed snowmobile logo T-shirt. This is on their site. You can buy it. So I don't know if this leans to anything, but it's very interesting. Why would they make a retro snowmobile shirt right now? Doesn't seem like it would sell. It's just kind of an interesting thing. But it would definitely be nice to have a fresh brand in there, fresh ownership, to really bring that big three back into kind of contention. So, Deere, can they do it? I don't know if they're a good ownership for a power sport like this, because snowmobiling has become something that is more like mountain biking, moto, than anything else. So it's definitely has to be managed a certain way and looked at a certain way when it comes to like who's the audience, who's going to be buying snowmobiles, and how do we build a culture around snowmobiling that I personally feel is very fragile. Like, we don't have that culture that rallies around the actual rider and gets people excited to go ride through media and kind of all these things. But I could talk about that for hours. The other piece of news, and this is a pretty fresh one, is Taiga, the electric snowmobile company out of Canada. They are looking for creditor protection. Essentially, they're looking for money, or also it sounds like they're kind of on the market to be purchased by somebody else who can come in and fund this thing if they so see fit. Taiga got a bunch of money from Canada, from the government, to start production, and they also make watercraft similar to Sea-Doo, jet ski, all that stuff. But the electric snowmobile thing it's just a ways out. I talked to Colin, the guy who's starting Dust Moto here in Bend, and we were talking about how much power and drag is actually in a snowmobile, and he was like, couldn't believe, how much horsepower it actually takes to move these things efficiently and with power. And also then you're factoring in batteries in the cold and variable weather conditions and all that stuff. So initial reports on these snowmobiles that I saw were in cold temperatures, really cold stuff, that battery mileage was almost half of what they had said. And so it just makes it tough. I don't think we're anywhere close to an electric snowmobile that is for the consumer. BRP has theirs, but those are only for select rental spots. So like, you will see, the first place that you will see electric are places like West Yellowstone and those guided short trail tour sleds where you're on groomed trails and you can how far you're going, and all of those variables can be taken into consideration for successful like riding on electric. But for what we do, it's just not close yet. Eventually we'll get there. I'm sure it will, but yeah, it needs a lot more. And on the moto side, we're seeing, a lot of stuff. I just saw a guy won a hard enduro on a Stark with 2 batteries, 4-hour race. So he had to swap batteries at 2.5 hours or 2 hours, and then he finished the race with still juice in that second battery. But the bummer part about the whole electric thing is when we run out of fuel on a snowmobile or a motorcycle, all we have to do is put gas in the thing and it goes again, right? You don't have to have an extra battery or haul an extra battery, or you can't just add fuel. You can't just quick charge the thing. It takes time to charge. So it'll be interesting to see if Taiga goes and gets money, if they continue, if they get bought out. So many things are up in the air there. It's definitely innovation that is interesting and cool to watch, but it's definitely a tough one. So they've been running out of cash flow trying to get this thing going, but I don't think you will see any of us on an electric snowmobile anytime soon. And a lot of guys probably don't want to be on electric because we like the sound and the power and the feeling and everything that comes with a aspirated, a fueled motor. That's what we love. So, well, I think that's it for me, guys. Thanks for being here. Episode 1 of the Ross Robinson Show. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. We'll be back very soon. Have a great one, and good luck with the heat. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. See you later.